How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rumours, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, today, guys, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at some merchandise, merchandise promotion, I guess. A bunch of it's been dropping recently, and Paul Ryan has been on top of it. He's been, posting about it. He's been going through it, and it seems like a lot of it is just about Pikachu and Eevee, and it's literally getting to the point where I think it's kind of ridiculous. So, let's get started with the first thing, which is the first, and this is right here, which is just me responding to a Pokemon tweet by the Japanese Pokemon Twitter account, and I just responded with, okay, seriously, Pokemon, like, heh, all this Pikachu stuff is making my mind go crazy. And then I got a response here from Crybaby Abel, and he actually told me Ash Kanto hat was trademarked on April 4th, and thanks for the info, Abel. And he was like, there was a tweet, I can look it up, and then he actually linked it to me, and thank you so much, you are a bloody saint, mate. So shout out to Crybaby Abel actually here for letting me know about this. But apparently the Nintendo company actually applied for a 3D trademark, okay, 3D trademark for Ash Ketchum's hat and logo. Now this would make sense usually because we do have Ash's hat on characters like, I mean, how do I say it properly? Like, we have it on Pikachu, right? Isn't it, like, it's usually on there? But this is a trademark specifically for the hat. You know what I mean? Which is a really odd thing that they would do. So, Ash Ketchum hat and logo were actually trademarked. So, I don't know what that means. Most likely, it could be an accessory within the games. Or it could also be that you're going to actually be able to, have some sort of relation with, like, Ash within the games. Which I think is less likely. But I think what mostly these are for, are either for Pikachu, or they're actually, like, going to be an accessory you're going to have, like, in-game. So, you're going to be able to actually look like Ash in the games. Which would be pretty cool. I would love to do that. That'd be actually awesome. But I don't know, guys. Let me know your thoughts about that, though. So let's get to the next one. Now, next up here is actually a Christian here who actually kind of sent me a message here telling me I could only see Pokeball, Great Ball, and Ultra Ball in this image, like in Pokemon Go. Which I just thought about. And yes, you're right. In this image, you only see Pikachu, Eevee, and then you see the Luigi Pikachu, which is Let's Go, right? You see a Pokeball that's like, kind of angled, just like the logo, and then you have a Ultra Ball and a Great Ball, and that is a good point, man. Thanks so much, Christian, for letting me know, dude. Next up is actually something that I want to just kind of mention quickly, and that is about Creatures Inc. They're actually talking about getting a lot of traffic from the Spanish-speaking world, the Spanish-speaking community, which kind of reminds me of the fact that, like, there was this rumor about the next games being based on a Spanish region, which I think is unlikely, but still a fun little, thing I want to mention real quick. Next up is something that's really important, though, and that is Game Freak are hiring for a test automation programmer, software engineer and test, to work on a consumer game development project. The contract position is listed to start in June 2018, negotiable. So what this is about is, essentially they're hiring someone, not for the current game, but something else, a future game. So they could be hiring someone, and this makes sense because usually they would hire people for this kind of thing, usually right when they're done with development for, other projects. So usually they would hire, like, software engineers for, a new project at this sort of time, right? Because we already know the Switch game is in development, and they wouldn't need a new software engineer in test. They wouldn't need one if they're already kind of been making the game for a long time, but they're hiring someone for this job to do it on this for a new game most likely. So they're definitely starting work on, I guess, Generation 8, which could then be out within, like, I guess if they're already starting development on it and this current game is not out yet and they've already probably been developing it for a little bit, if they're just hiring a software engineer, that's just one part of the puzzle, right? So they probably already start work on the next game, which should then be out by 2019, actually 2020, I think, would be a better time. Like 2020 is when we should expect Generation 8, I assume, based on this. But that's that, guys. That's kind of some little info. And, like, right down here, Infinite Synchrone actually said, kind of normal to see the start of a new project for early development stages when things with the old project is nearing its completion. They don't sit down, drink coffee, and not being productive. That is very true. The Japanese people are very productive. They keep working. So, next up is something that actually I think, I already talked about this one, so I'm going to just take that away. But actually, here's something else, though. So, Sunny Shore Mart, which actually I also think Paul Ryan talked about, but essentially they have a new set of Pokemon dolls revealed, and they release in May 26th, which is so interesting because May 26th is the rumored day when the Direct is supposed to happen, as far as I know. I think it's the 25th actually is when it's supposed to happen, right? And they're all Gen 1 Pokemon, by the way. So you look at this, it's all Gen 1, right? All Generation 1, all Pikachu and stuff, which is very interesting because a lot of the merchandise recently has just been Pikachu. It's just been Pikachu or Eevee. Next up is actually something I really want to mention. That is that anyone else noticed that the Pokemon Japan official Instagram account has only been promoting the Pikachu and Eevee merchandise line, which is what Paul Ryan is actually saying right here, as you guys can see. He's kind of pointing out that the Instagram account is mainly just talking about Pikachu and Eevee and only showing Pikachu and Eevee all the time. But that's something that's been happening in the past as well. But it's very interesting that they're kind of doing it, very frequently now as well, with the only other thing happening in between them is kind of this stuff, in promotional sense, is this image and, some stuff like this. But other than that, it's usually just Pikachu and Eevee, which I get that Pikachu and Eevee are both like, Pikachu is the mascot of Pokemon, but Eevee, in a sense, is like a bit more, it's super popular, but I don't think it's as popular as Pikachu, maybe slightly less popular, in a sense, because there are Pokemon that are more popular, like Charizard and stuff, but, again, I digress. It's besides the point. Next up is something very interesting that I want to go through. So it's one of the first things right here is, it's Wednesday. No official Daisuke updates. No Pokemon Center updates. What the heck is going on? Which is very true. So nothing has been happening for kind of official sources and like, more credible places. Things have not been coming out. And he also says something here about like the jaw-dropping aspect of the potential Pokemon Switch games would hands down Eevee being given main game mascot status, joining the likes of Charizard, Ho-Oh, Giratina, Azernix, etc. But it's so much more than just that. It gives Project Eevee a whole new meaning and gives Pokemon as a brand a secondary mascot to try to rival Pikachu. Such a clever decision for longevity. That is very true, right? So this is something that I mentioned as well. Like, Eevee is a very popular Pokemon. It is, like, a really high-status Pokemon, but it's never been, like, on the same level as something like Charizard, or, like you mentioned there, Ho-Oh, Giratina, Xerneas, right? In popularity, sure, but, like, in terms of, status, it's never been, like, a main Pokemon, like you've seen on, like, an actual game and stuff, on the front cover on its own. You've never had that. And giving it that attention, especially with Project Eevee, which, again, I've said Project Eevee, the whole reason for having project in the name is because that's what relates to the game, right? It's a project to get Eevee hyped up, and it's supposed to be this new game, right? So that's what I think it's all about. Now, next up here is, I think that's the same tweet again. Now, next up here is actually something else I want to talk about. That is that, so Ash is the latest Pokemon Nendoroid release, yet they choose red as a promotional example, which is very true, right? It's so strange, right, they would do that. So, its promotional art that you see right here is red. And Lily. Why would they be showing red when it's like supposed to be Ash that's gonna be the new Nendoroid? Why would you still do red as promotional work, right? It's just a bit strange, and I don't really know what to feel about it. And also, thank you, Let's Go Tay there, man, for letting me know about this. So, I don't know, man. All these things, there's so many of them. And also, here's this thing again. So, guaranteed merchandise updates in around 12-hour time. I don't expect anything much because of the Psycho Pikachu and Eevee release, plus the Kanto Pokédolls line next week. So, I don't know, man, but I'm just saying, like, Kanto is just going crazy right now. So much Kanto stuff. See, right there's more Kanto stuff. Right here, 3 more Pokemon Center Eevee Plus releases. Okay, then. And there's even more. Like, see, just more and more and more Eevee stuff. So much of it. And if you just go through every single post on Pokeshopper, like, so much of it just relates back to Eevee again. And you just look at it, like, so much Eevee stuff. Eevee here. Eevee's even in the background of this one. Like, Eevee's all over the place recently. And it's kind of crazy. But now, next up is something I want to talk about, which I want to give huge credit to one specific person, and that is specifically Endgame the Cube and one of his viewers, because they hit me up, or rather, Endgame let me know about this, and he hit him up, so like his viewer hit Endgame the Cube up, and told him that Liam Robertson, who is a writer, a journalist, sort of, who does have insight in things. He's actually kind of talked about things, rumors and that sort of stuff in the past, and he knows stuff. He is very knowledgeable, as far as I know, and he has a podcast, and this is the podcast right here. Now, I have not seen the podcast, but this is what he was told, what Endgame the Cube, or Zachary, was told by one of his viewers, and it's right here. Okay, so he's saying essentially that I'm listening to Liam Robertson's podcast, and he said he heard about the Pokemon Let's Go 2 months ago, and people from Nintendo of America talked to him about it. It will take inspiration of Go, and the integration of Go will be minimum, which is something I've been hearing from a lot of different, people as well that know stuff. They've been saying, it's going to be a minimum thing. Don't expect it to be crazy. And there's another thing I'm going to talk about later today, a huge rumor list that's just gigantic, and I want to go through it separately because it's so big, and it'll take me about, maybe 15 minutes to go through the whole thing in this video, so I don't want to make this video 25 minutes, but it's a big list though, and all of them kind of mention that the integration between the two is going to be very minimum. He also heard that that the game will be shown to press this month, so apparently Liam knows that this game will be shown to the press, the people, from the media and stuff, will be shown I guess secretly, behind closed doors, right, this month, behind the scenes, after the reveal, which should happen next week, guys. So next week, we should be looking around for Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday, we should be expecting it to happen. That is the time frame we're working with. So I don't know, guys. Let me know your thoughts about it, though, guys. But that's kind of that for this video, guys. I hope you all did enjoy, and I hope you're excited for this, because Liam Peterson knows stuff. He really does know stuff. He's an insider. He is, I think, knows almost more than Emily Rogers does, and he's saying this. Now, again, I could be wrong here. It could be he never said that in the podcast, because I haven't watched it myself, so I don't really know. But I want to know your thoughts on it anyways, guys. So let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Ruffle Rallet. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.